Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining the Kapnick Strive April webinar titled Epigenetic Wellness, Rewriting Your Genetic Destiny. My name is Lexi, and I'm excited to explore this powerful and inspiring area of science with you. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll dive into how your lifestyle choices can actually influence how your genes function, something that was once thought to be set in stone. So let me start with a question. Have you ever been told it's just in your genes? Whether it was a comment about heart disease, mental health, addiction, weight, or your metabolism, that phrase can often make us feel powerless. But the field of epigenetics is flipping that narrative. This presentation will introduce you to how your daily choices, what you eat, how you move, how you manage stress can talk to your genes. And the best part is it gives you more control over your health than we ever thought possible. So the goal during this webinar is to empower you with the knowledge to shape your genetic destiny. And if you do have any questions or comments during the webinar, feel free to write them in the Q&A boxes. So let's first start with clarifying a key distinction. Genetics refers to the DNA sequence you inherit from your parents, your biological blueprint. Genes are like a recipe book with all the instruction your body needs to grow, move, and stay healthy. They help decide things like your eye color, how tall you are, or even if you might get sick more easily. Epigenetics, on the other hand, refers to the changes in gene activity that don't alter the DNA sequence itself. This is like putting a sticky note on the recipe book. The recipes don't change, but the sticky note can say, skip this part or do more of this. And these notes tell your body how to use the instructions. So imagine your DNA is a piano. Every key on the piano represents a gene. It's already built into the instrument. You can't change the keys themselves, just like you can't change the DNA you were born with. But what matters is how you play it. Epigenetics is like that sheet music, the pedals, and the pianist's touch. These influences control which notes are played, how loudly and how softly and when. So even though every piano has the same keys, two pianists can create totally different music depending on how they interact with the instrument. So let's take the piano out of it and start to get into the science. Epigenetics literally means above genes or above genetics. It's the study of how behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work. And these changes are controlled by chemical tags like DNA methylation and histone modification, which act like switches or dimmers. They can silence a gene or amplify its activity. The important thing is to remember is epigenetics doesn't change the DNA itself, it changes how it's read and expressed. So now this might start to feel a little like an organic chemistry class, but I promise it's pretty cool. So let's take a closer look at how epigenetic changes actually work on a biological level. There are three main ways your body can change your genes and how your genes are used without changing the genes themselves. And these are called epigenetic markers. The three types we'll talk about today are DNA methylation, histone modification, and non-coding RNA. So first up is DNA methylation, and this means your body adds a tiny chemical tag, kind of like a sticker, to a part of your DNA. When this sticker is there, it covers up the gene so it can't be used. It's like putting a sticker over a light switch so you can't turn it on. And this helps your body decide which genes to turn off. And it's important for things like aging, staying healthy, and sometimes even preventing diseases. And this is one of the most studied epigenetic mechanisms. Next, we have histone modification. So your DNA isn't just floating around in your body, it's wrapped around proteins called histones, which help package it neatly into the nucleus of the cell. These histones can be changed a little by your body to make the DNA either looser or tighter. When it's loose, the gene can be read and used. When it's tight, the genes get hidden and turned off. Think of it like tightening or loosening the strings on a hoodie. Opening it up and everything's easy to see. Pull it tight and it's all hidden. And then finally, there's non-coding RNA, which is a bit more recent in our understanding. This is a special kind of RNA that doesn't make proteins like most RNA does. Instead, it helps control which genes are used and when. Some types block the tools that read your DNA, and others help tell where to put DNA stickers or change the histones. It's like a traffic director, helping guide the flow and telling your body which genes should go and which should stop. So together, these three mechanisms, DNA methylation, histone changes, and non-coding RNAs, are like the master controls for your body. They determine which genes are turned on or off and respond to your environment, behaviors, and even your emotions, like what you eat, how you feel, and how you live. They don't change the genetic code, but they do change the instructions that your body follows. So what affects these gene switches, these epigenetic markers? Now, there's a lot of factors at play, like different enzymes, DNA repair, hormonal changes, and certain drugs. And even gene editing technology, you may have heard of CRISPR, but for the sake of simplicity and this presentation, and really for time, we're going to focus on some things that we can control, including a range of lifestyle and environmental factors. Diet, physical activity, quality of sleep, levels of chronic stress, exposure to pollutants, and even your social relationships. All of these can influence your epigenome. And that means the small choices you make every day add up and have a real impact on your long-term health at the genetic level. So we've all heard the debate about nature versus nurture. Epigenetics shows us that it's not one or the other, it's both. But your behaviors can override genetic predisposition. A fascinating example is identical twins. They share 100% of their DNA, yet as they age and lead different lifestyles, their gene expression begins to diverge. One may develop a health condition while the other does not. And that divergence is largely due to epigenetic influences like diet, exercise, and stress. So, for example, you may have seen this image of identical twins floating around social media, but it's from a published scientific article called The Science and Theory Behind Facial Aging. In this picture, we can see 61-year-old twins, twin A on the left side and twin B on the right. Twin B on the left had approximately 10 hours per week greater than twin A. Or twin B on the right, excuse me, had approximately 10 hours per week greater sun exposure than twin A on the left. And we can see the difference in sunspots, wrinkles, and skin firmness, even though they share the exact same DNA. But we don't even have to look to twins to see how our environment can affect our genetics. We can see this image of a 69-year-old truck driver who drove for decades without sun protection. We can see how the side of his face closest to the driver's side window had an experienced significant amount more sun damage than the side more protected from the UV rays. And in this case, his environment affected how his genes acted when it came to skin resilience, repair, and elasticity. And this new understanding gives us a powerful tool: prevention. Epigenetic wellness shifts our mindset from reactive to proactive. So instead of waiting for illness to appear, we can actively shape our genetic expression to promote longevity, vitality, and resilience. And the good news is, this isn't about dramatic changes. Small, consistent actions like drinking more water, getting better sleep, or reducing our sugar can have lasting effects. So let's start with food. Did you know that the food you eat can actually help decide which of your genes can turn on or off? That's right. What's on your plate can affect how your body reads your DNA. And this is where epigenetics and nutrition come together. Some foods are like helpers. Some foods are like helpers for your body's epigenetic tools. They give your body the vitamins and nutrients it needs to add or remove those little stickers we talked about earlier. Remember the ones that turn genes on and off? So, for example, folate, which is found in leafy greens, helps with DNA methylation. Omega 3s found in fish and nuts help reduce inflammation and may support healthy gene activity. B vitamins help your body manage stress and make energy, and they help control gene expression too. Now, let's talk about the less healthy choices. Eating too much sugar, greasy foods, or processed snacks, delicious, but all the time can send the wrong signals to your body. These foods may add those harmful sticky notes or remove helpful ones that could make some genes that cause inflammation or sickness more active. So, yes, your body doesn't just fill your belly, it helps write the instructions your body follows. So, here's a cool example. If a mom eats healthy while pregnant, she can help her baby have a better chance of turning on healthy genes. And if you eat well while growing up, you can help your own body stay stronger and healthier later in life. So, what's the big idea in all of this? Food is more than just fuel, it is information. It tells your body how to use your genes. Eating healthy helps your genes do the job the right way, and you really are what you eat. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be intentional. Eat the rainbow, choose whole, unprocessed foods, because these small choices nourish our genes. Now, let's talk about something super important for your health: moving your body. Physical activity is another potent epigenetic signal. And you probably already know that moving your body helps your heart, muscles, and mood. But did you know that it also sends messages to your DNA? That's right. Exercise can actually change how your genes work through epigenetics. So when you move, like going for a walk, riding your bike, or dancing, your body changes how certain genes work in your muscles, fat, and even your brain. It helps your body use insulin better so your blood sugar stays balanced. It lowers inflammation, which means your body can fight off sickness more easily. And it helps your brain stay sharp and happy. Even one session of exercise, just one walk or workout, can start making these helpful changes. Exercise adds or removes special tags on your genes, like turning light switches on or off. And this is how your body decides which genes to use. Some help you burn fat, some protect your heart, and others boost your memory or mood. So when you move your body, you're helping your genes keep you strong and healthy. And the more often you move, the more that your body remembers those good changes. It's kind of like sending your genes a message that says, stay young, stay active, stay protective, and your body listens. Think of exercise making your genes work smarter, not harder. Even small movements can make a big difference in how your body works on the inside. So keep walking, playing, stretching, or dancing. Your genes are paying attention. Now, let's talk about three important things that can change how your genes work: sleep, stress, and your environment. Starting with sleep, when you don't get enough sleep, your body's natural clock, called your circadian rhythm, gets thrown off. This clock controls a lot of things like your appetite, your mood, and how well your immune system works. So when you're tired, your genes can get confused too. Getting good sleep helps keep your body in balance and helps your genes do their jobs the right way. Now, let's talk about stress. We all know about it, but when you feel stressed for a long time, your body makes more of a chemical called cortisol. And too much cortisol can send the wrong messages to your DNA. It can turn off helpful genes and make it harder for your body to fight off sickness. So here's the good news. Doing things like deep breathing, writing in a journal, or taking a walk can help your body calm down and reset those gene messages. Your environment plays a role too. The things around you, like air, water, and even your food, as we learned earlier, can change your genes. Toxins from cigarette smoke, plastic containers, pesticides, and pollution can leave harmful marks on your DNA. These marks might turn on genes that cause trouble or turn off the ones that protect you. But don't worry, you don't have to be perfect. None of us are. You can make small, smart choices like using glass or metal containers instead of plastic, filtering your drinking water, using natural cleaners, buying organic food when you can, or just buying unprocessed food when you can, and changing your furnace filter to keep your air clean. Even small steps help protect your genes. As I said, small steps. We know that not everyone can buy organic food all the time or live in a perfectly clean environment. And I'm here to tell you that is okay. It's not about being perfect. It's about doing what you can with what you have. Every little effort, like using that reusable water bottle, getting to bed on time, changing your furnace filter regularly, it sends a healthy message to your DNA. And those small choices, they add up over time. So we talked about nutrition, sleep, stress, physical activity, and environment. Now it's time to talk about your emotional state, which also talks to your genes. Your emotions will talk to your genes. It is true. How you feel and how you handle your feelings can change the way your genes behave. Positive emotions and mindfulness can help your body and your mind stay healthy. When you feel things like gratitude, compassion, or happiness, your body sends out positive signals to your genes. And these positive emotions help turn on genes that protect you from sickness and keep your body well. In other words, feeling good can help your genes feel good too. And studies show that doing things like mindfulness meditation can help your body calm down and turn off genes linked to inflammation. When you meditate or take a moment to relax, it helps your body reduce the stress that can hurt your health. So, mindfulness isn't just good for your mind, it's also beneficial for your genes. But on the other hand, we talked about this in the last slide. If you're feeling stressed or angry, your genes might get signals that cause harm, like inflammation. But again, the good news is by practicing things like mindfulness, talking to someone about your feelings, or even finding small moments of joy, you can change those signals. And again, you don't have to feel perfect all the time. Taking the time to process your feelings in healthy ways can help your body and your genes stay balanced. So if you practice, again, mindfulness, talking to a therapist, or just focusing on those things, that's going to make a huge impact on you in the long run. So one of the most amazing discoveries in epigenetics is that the changes to your genes don't just stay with you. They can actually be passed down to future generations. And that means that the choices you make today, whether they're about health, diet, the effects of trauma, or even how you manage stress and toxic exposure, could affect not just your children, but your grandchildren and beyond. Some studies have shown that things like trauma, a poor diet, or being exposed to harmful chemicals can actually affect your genes in a way that's passed down to your kids and their kids and kids' kids. I think you get the point. So the healthy habits or the health habits we pass down through the family can be what we eat, how we move, or what we even teach. They can be also linked to things like how we manage our stress, how we feel emotionally, and how we cope with challenges. Now, this might sound a little intimidating at first, like the choices you make could have a long lasting impact. But here's the empowering part: the healthy choices you make today don't just help you, they help your children and their children. So, when you eat well, exercise, manage stress, and take care of your health, you're improving not just your life, you're creating a healthier future for the generations that follow. And you have the chance to be that turning point for your family's health legacy. So every time you choose to make a positive change, again, taking a walk, eating better, practicing mindfulness, you're shaping the future for your kids, grandkids, and beyond. So, how do we put all of this information into practice? Well, here's a few tips. Eat a variety of colorful whole foods, lots of fruits and vegetables. These foods are full of vitamins and nutrients that help keep your body strong and your genes happy. The more color on your plate, the better for your health. Move your body regularly, emphasizing doing activities that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be a boring gym workout if that's not your thing. Think about what you enjoyed doing as a kid. Was it walking or running in the park, playing basketball, rollerblading, or maybe dancing? Find something fun, something that makes you smile, because when you enjoy it, it doesn't feel like exercise. Next is prioritizing sleep, aiming 7 to 9 hours each night. Sleep is when your body repairs itself and when your genes get a chance to rest and reset. So make sleep a priority because your body will thank you. Sleep also helps with reducing that chronic stress, but try meditation, time in nature, or social connection. Try to find ways to reduce it because doing things that make you feel calm helps keep your mind and your genes in balance. And then lastly, limiting your exposure to environmental toxins. So examples like quitting smoking, wash your produce before eating, and then buying as much unprocessed food when you can. Not buying unprocessed food, excuse me. Also, using air filters and water filters can help reduce harmful chemicals around you. And these steps might not seem radical, but their impact can be huge for your health and your genes. And the most important thing is to stay consistent, making small, healthy choices. Each day can add up to big changes over time. So I want to leave you with this thought: you are not your genes. While you may inherit certain risks, you are not locked into a predetermined path. Epigenetics gives you the tools to rewrite your story, one choice at a time. Whether it's starting with a healthy lunch today, putting on sunscreen before you leave the house, or going to bed 30 minutes earlier tonight, you are influencing your biology in real time. And if you like today's topic, you can learn more starting with the podcast. Biology Today, the host Nishta Modi explores some of the most interesting fields of research and discovery in biology through conversations with experts from around the world. And season 1 is all about epigenetics, short, digestible episodes with experts in the field. So this is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. The book on the right, The Epigenetics Revolution by researcher Nessa Carey, gives a history of the field of epigenetics, how it's applied to phenomena, and how we can use epigenetics to better understand ourselves. And you can also support your nutrition and epigenetic health with the Strive recipe book. Simple recipes featuring plenty of whole foods, fruits and vegetables, and balanced meals for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and more. And on that note, thank you everyone for joining today. We will see you at the next webinar on May 28th from 12 to 12:30. It's called Health Tune-Up, the Essential Maintenance for Peak Performance. You can scan that QR to register. And today's webinar will be recorded and it will be sent to everyone that has signed up today. So again, thank you everyone. We'll see you next month.